Are you aware that a dysregulated nervous system is impacting upon your fatigue? But you're wondering, well, what do you do about it? We're going to unpack that in this video. Hi, I'm Alex Howard, and I'm the founder of the Optimum Health Clinic, an award-winning clinic specializing in areas like fatigue, anxiety, trauma, sleep, digestive issues, hormones, and so on. And in this video, I want to unpack 5 steps to reset your nervous system. A dysregulated nervous system, what here at the Optimum Health Clinic we call a maladaptive stress response, plays a critical role in fatigue-related conditions. For some people, it's one of the factors that can cause them to have fatigue in the first place. And for many people, that state of nervous system dysregulation is perpetuating that cycle of fatigue because all of our energy and resources are going into maintaining that stress response, and therefore they're not available for our physical healing. For our physical body to heal, we have to be in a healing state. By the way, the same is true for emotional healing. For our emotions to heal, our nervous system has to feel safe. So what are these 5 steps? So the word reset describes what we need to do. We need to reset the nervous system, but it's also an acronym of 5 stages. The 5 stages are: number 1, to recognize. We firstly need to recognize that our nervous system is dysregulated. We can get so normalized to being in a maladaptive stress response that we don't even recognize that's happening. I remember in the early years of the Optimum Health Clinic, back in the days, people would come to our in-person clinic and someone would be so dysregulated in their nervous system that as an empathetic person, sitting with them, I'd find myself feeling some of the irritation and agitation in their system. I'd explain what we're touching on here, and they'd say, oh, it makes so much sense, but it's not true for me. My nervous system's not dysregulated. The problem is they're so dysregulated, but they've normalized to it. That's become their normal, and they don't recognize what's happening. And if you don't see it, you can't do something about it. So the first step is to recognize the nervous system dysregulation, to recognize the maladaptive stress response. The second step, the first E of reset, is to examine, why is it happening? What are the factors from the past? What are the things that we learned? Maybe the ways that we learned to survive traumatic or difficult experiences in childhood. What are the ways that we've learned to relate to ourselves, to relate to other people, to relate to the world? What are the thought patterns that we have? What are the beliefs that we have? Really, what are the ingredients that come together that are creating that maladaptive stress response? So we need to recognize, we need to examine. The third step is we need to stop those patterns, those habits, those beliefs, those behaviors. There's a couple of things that I find are really helpful with that. The first is practices to cultivate nervous system regulation. Meditation, mindfulness, breath work, ways that teach our system to function differently. The second thing that's important is to catch these patterns that we've got in the previous step of examining and learning how to stop those patterns of thinking, of the beliefs that we have. Each time we have those patterns, we stop them and we reset the system. We do that enough times when we start to get calmer. This brings us to the 4th step, or the second E of reset, emotions. We often start to feel the feelings and the emotions that we've been trying to get away from, unconsciously been trying to get away from. Not dealing with this step is one of the reasons why people that come to the Optimum Health Clinic who've been through many other programs will say, I spend my whole life trying to stop and calm these patterns, but as soon as I stop, the system reactivates. There's always a clue to me that they've not done that emotional healing work. When we heal the impacts of the past, we learn to have a healthy relationship with our feelings and our emotions. We get to a whole new level of calmness inside of ourselves. The fifth step is to transform our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with the people that matter in our lives, also our relationship with the wider world. This particularly involves working on our inner critic, that judgmental voice inside of our minds, cultivating a healthier relationship with the different aspects and parts of ourselves. If we go through these steps in order, the collective impact is our nervous system starts to change. In my experience, if we skip any of these steps, it's often not a lasting change. If we try to avoid certain steps, like we don't want to do the calming stuff, we just want to do the emotional healing work, often what happens is people do the emotional healing work from a dysregulated place and they have even more instability in their lives. When people don't do that work, they're constantly trying to calm the system. If we don't have the self-awareness from recognize and examine, we're often really not clear what it is that we're trying to work with. So doing the right pieces in the right sequence is really important. Question people often ask me is, if I do all this work, how long will it take to reset my nervous system? Well, of course, it's different for different people. It depends upon what the history is. It depends upon what work you've already been doing with it. In my Reset program, which is a 12-week coaching program, we find that the majority of people start to see impacts within those 12 weeks. That means that for some people, by the end of the 12 weeks, their system is in a very different place and their physical symptoms may be starting to change and be impacted by that. For other people, their system is getting calmer and it takes a little longer for those physical symptoms to start to respond. But it is absolutely possible to reset your nervous system. It takes time and it takes some practice. To learn more about the relationship between your nervous system and your physical health, and particularly the symptom of fatigue, do check out my book, Decode Your Fatigue, where I unpack this in a lot more detail, as well as bringing in a number of the physical elements in fatigue-related conditions, looking at systems like the immune system, our hormone system, our endocrine system, our digestive system, and so on. And if you'd like to find out more about how we use this framework, how you could potentially work with our practitioner team here at the Optimum Health Clinic, go to theoptimumhealthclinic.com. You can request a free information pack and you can book a free discovery call with one of our clinical team. And also to be notified as new videos are released here on the Optimum Health Clinic YouTube channel, do subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell, and then YouTube will let you know each week as our videos are released. Thank you for watching. I hope that's been helpful.